Imagine opening your eyes, not in your own bedroom, but in the heart of ancient Rome. The year is AD 120. The air carries a scent with smoke, damp stone, and yesterday's cooking fires. Somewhere nearby, a rooster announces the beginning of another ordinary morning. Wooden cart wheels rumble across uneven stone streets, while distant voices slowly fill the city with life. There is no electricity, no soft mattress beneath you, no hot shower waiting nearby, no coffee brewing in the kitchen, no antibiotics if illness finds you. Everything familiar has quietly disappeared. Instead, you have one simple goal: survive the next 7 days. It sounds possible. After all, nearly 1 million people once lived in ancient Rome. But before this journey ends, you will discover that everyday life inside the world's greatest empire was far less comfortable than most of us imagine. So, dim the lights, get comfortable, and together, let's quietly step back nearly 2,000 years. Imagine opening your eyes, not in your own bedroom, but nearly 2,000 years ago, in the heart of ancient Rome. The year is around AD 120, during the reign of Emperor Hadrian. Rome is one of the largest and most remarkable cities on earth, home to hundreds of thousands of people from every corner of the empire. For a brief moment, everything feels unfamiliar. The bed beneath you is firm, stuffed with straw instead of soft cotton or foam. A simple wool blanket rests across your legs, and the small room around you is built from stone, wood, and plaster rather than modern brick and concrete. There are no electric lights waiting to brighten the room, no alarm clock, no glowing phone screen, only the first pale light of dawn slipping quietly through a narrow window. Outside, the city is already beginning to wake. Somewhere in the distance, a rooster calls. Wooden cart wheels rumble slowly across uneven stone streets. A merchant greets an early customer. Another ordinary morning has begun in ancient Rome, and for the next 7 days, this will be your home. As your eyes adjust to the dim morning light, you begin to notice the details around you. The room is small, with barely enough space for a bed, a wooden chest, and a few simple clay pots. Your belongings are few, because in this world, most people own only what they truly need. The walls carry faint marks left by years of smoke from small oil lamps and cooking fires. The air smells of warm plaster, dry wood, and yesterday's ashes. Comfort, as you know it, simply doesn't exist here. Yet to the people of Rome, this is perfectly ordinary. For them, this room is not a hardship. It is simply home. You sit up slowly, and the cool stone floor reminds you that there are no soft carpets waiting beneath your feet. Every movement feels just a little different from modern life. The city outside grows louder with each passing minute. Some people are already carrying water. Others hurry toward workshops, bakeries, and marketplaces before the streets become crowded. Ancient Rome rarely sleeps for long. The rhythm of the city begins early, and nearly everyone has work to do before the sun climbs high into the sky. You walk toward the small window and carefully look outside. The streets below are narrow, built from heavy stone that has carried countless footsteps for generations. The morning sun has only just begun to warm the rooftops. Across the street, a woman opens the wooden shutters of her home. Nearby, a baker places fresh loaves onto a wooden shelf while the comforting aroma of warm bread slowly drifts through the cool morning air. Children carry small baskets beside their parents. A donkey patiently waits beside a loaded cart. The city is waking naturally, guided not by clocks, but by the rising sun. Without electric lights, people have learned to make the most of every hour of daylight. For most Romans, the day begins early and ends shortly after sunset. Time itself feels slower here. There are no notifications demanding your attention, no ringing phones, no glowing screens. Only another ordinary morning in one of history's greatest cities. As you continue watching, the sounds of Rome gradually grow louder. A blacksmith's hammer rings faintly somewhere in the distance. Merchants greet familiar customers with friendly voices. Someone laughs. A child runs across the street before being gently called back by a parent. The city feels busy, but never rushed in the way modern cities often do. Life here follows a rhythm of daylight, seasons, and routine rather than digital schedules. Yet beneath this peaceful morning lies a constant struggle. Most people work long hours simply to provide enough food for their families. Comfort is a luxury enjoyed by only a small part of Roman society. For everyone else, each day requires patience, effort, and resilience. And today, you are one of them. It is time to begin your own day. You reach for a simple wool tunic, hanging neatly beside the bed. The fabric feels heavier than modern clothing, woven by hand rather than produced by machines. There are no closets filled with choices, no running shoes waiting by the door, no mirrors carefully reflecting every detail. Clothing here is practical. It protects you from the morning chill and the afternoon sun. Nothing more. As you tie a simple leather belt around your waist, you realize just how little people truly owned. Life in ancient Rome is filled with remarkable achievements, but for ordinary citizens, it is also a life of simplicity. You take one last look around the small apartment before reaching for the wooden door. It is a simple home, offering little privacy and even fewer comforts. Yet for countless ordinary Romans, this modest space is a place of safety after long days of work. The wooden latch creaks softly as you pull the door open. A cooler breeze greets you from a hallway beyond. The sounds of the city become clearer now. Voices echo through the narrow building. Some neighbors are already carrying buckets of water upstairs. Others quietly leave for another day's work. In an apartment building like this, many families live close together. Walls are thin, hallways are narrow, and every morning, the entire building seems to wake at nearly the same time. Life here is shared. There is very little silence, very little privacy. But this is simply the rhythm of everyday life in ancient Rome. Carefully, you begin walking down the narrow staircase. Each stone step has been worn smooth by thousands of feet over many years. The building feels alive around you. Children whisper to one another. Someone prepares breakfast nearby. The comforting smell of freshly baked bread mixes with a faint scent of smoke from cooking fires. Above your head, sunlight slips through small openings between the buildings. It is a beautiful morning, yet you quickly notice something unfamiliar. There is no plumbing running through these walls, no electric lighting, no elevators, no central heating. Everything depends on human effort. Every bucket of water has been carried by hand. Every fire has been built one piece of wood at a time. Every ordinary task requires time and energy. Modern convenience is still nearly 2,000 years away. At last, you step outside. The streets of ancient Rome stretch before you, already filled with life. Stone buildings rise on either side of the narrow road. Merchants prepare their stalls. A baker carries warm bread into the marketplace. Donkeys patiently wait beside loaded carts. Somewhere in the distance, a fountain provides fresh water for nearby residents. The city feels impressive, busy, confident, and full of energy. It is easy to understand why Rome became the center of one of history's greatest empires. But as you begin walking through these ancient streets, you soon discover that behind this remarkable city lies a daily life filled with challenges that most modern people have never experienced. Your first surprise is waiting much sooner than you expect. As you follow the growing crowd to the streets, one simple question begins to cross your mind. How did people here manage the most ordinary parts of daily life? Something as simple as washing your hands, taking a bath, or finding a toilet. In the modern world, we rarely think about these things. But in ancient Rome, they were part of a very different daily routine. And before this first morning is over, you're about to discover one of the most surprising parts of life in the Roman Empire. Let's continue our journey. As the morning continues, you realize there's one simple problem you haven't solved yet. You need to find a bathroom. In your own time, this would hardly require a second thought. You would simply walk down the hallway, turn a door handle, and enjoy complete privacy. But here, in ancient Rome, things work very differently. There is no bathroom inside your small apartment, no flushing toilet, no sink with running water, no shower waiting just around the corner. Instead, like many ordinary Romans, you must leave your building and make your way to a public latrine shared by dozens of other people. For someone from the 21st century, the experience would feel surprisingly unfamiliar. Yet for the people of Rome, it was simply another ordinary part of the day. After a short walk, you arrive at a simple stone building. From the outside, it appears surprisingly ordinary. There are no private stalls, no wooden doors, no separate rooms. Inside, long rows of smooth stone seats line the walls. Each seat has a rounded opening carved into the stone. Beneath them, fresh water flows continuously through carefully engineered channels, carrying waste away from the city. Roman engineers were remarkably skilled at designing systems like these, and many public latrines used flowing water to help keep them functioning. For their time, these were impressive public facilities, but they were very different from what most of us would expect today. Privacy, however, is almost impossible to find. People often sit beside friends, neighbors, or complete strangers. Conversations continue as naturally as they would in a marketplace or along a busy street. Business is discussed. Family news is exchanged. Local gossip spreads from one person to another, to a visitor from the modern world. This would likely feel unusual, but to many Romans, these shared spaces were simply another place to meet and talk. Ideas of personal privacy were not always the same as they are today. Daily routines reflected a very different culture and way of life. You quietly take a seat and begin observing the room around you. The walls are built from smooth stone and marble, carefully designed to withstand years of daily use. A gentle stream of water flows continuously beneath the stone benches, carrying waste away through an impressive underground drainage system. For its time, this was considered an extraordinary piece of engineering. The Romans invested heavily in public infrastructure, roads, aqueducts, bathhouses, and even public latrines reflected their remarkable understanding of construction and water management. Still, despite this engineering achievement, the experience feels far different from the privacy and comfort of modern life. Here, practicality comes first. Comfort is simply a luxury few people expect. Near the entrance, you notice something else that immediately catches your attention. Instead of rolls of paper, there are small buckets filled with clean water. Beside them rests a simple cleaning tool made from a natural sea sponge attached to the end of a wooden stick. Historical evidence suggests that shared sponges were used in some public latrines, rinsed in water before being used again. To modern visitors, this idea may seem surprising, but in the Roman world, it was simply one practical solution available at the time. Daily life often required people to adapt to the resources they had rather than the comforts they wished for. Across history, every civilization has developed its own routines shaped by the knowledge and technology of its age. Once you leave the building, the fresh morning air feels especially welcome. Outside, Rome continues its ordinary routine. Water carriers move carefully through the streets, balancing heavy clay jars. Shopkeepers sweep the front of their businesses. Children laugh while chasing one another across the stone roads. Life continues without pause. For the people around you, nothing about the morning has felt unusual. These routines have been repeated for generations. It is only through modern eyes that everyday Roman life appears so unfamiliar. The more time you spend here, the more you begin to understand that survival in the ancient world required constant adaptation, not extraordinary courage, simply patience and resilience. As you continue walking through the neighborhood, one of Rome's greatest achievements quietly surrounds you: fresh water. Hidden beneath the streets and carried across valleys by towering aqueducts, enormous engineering projects bring water from distant springs into the city. Some of these channels stretch for dozens of miles. Without powerful pumps or electric motors, Roman engineers rely almost entirely on gravity. The gentle slope of each aqueduct allows water to travel steadily toward fountains, baths, and public buildings. Even today, many historians admire the precision of this remarkable system. For its time, it is one of the greatest engineering accomplishments in the world. Yet despite this impressive network, access to water is not equal for everyone. For many ordinary families, collecting fresh water remains a daily chore. Near a public fountain, several residents patiently wait their turn. Clay jars of every size rest upon the ground. Children help their parents lift heavy containers. A woman carefully balances a full jar upon her shoulder before beginning the slow walk home. Water is precious. Every drop has been carried, stored, and used with care. There are no kitchen taps, no bathroom sinks, No washing machines quietly running in the background. Simple daily tasks demand both time and effort. What feels effortless in the modern world often required planning and physical work in ancient Rome. As the morning continues, you begin to notice something unexpected. The routines that first seemed strange no longer feel quite so unfamiliar. The public latrine, the shared fountain, the crowded apartment. None of these are signs of carelessness. They are simply part of everyday life in a city shaped by different knowledge, different technology, and different expectations. Ancient Rome was extraordinary in many ways. Its roads connected continents. Its laws influenced future civilizations. Its engineers created structures that still inspire the modern world. Yet for ordinary people, daily life remained filled with small challenges that demanded patience every single day. For now, your first lesson in ancient Rome is complete. You discovered that even the simplest parts of daily life could feel surprisingly unfamiliar to someone from the modern world. But another challenge is already waiting. After a busy morning, your stomach begins to remind you that breakfast is long overdue. Forget pancakes. Forget cereal. And you can certainly forget your morning coffee, because breakfast in ancient Rome is about to become another unexpected surprise. Let's continue our journey. Leaving the public fountain behind, you continue along the narrow streets of Rome. The morning has fully arrived now. The city feels more alive with every passing minute. The smell of fresh bread drifts through the cool air, guiding you toward a nearby bakery. It is one of the most welcoming scents in the city. Unlike today, there are no cafes with steaming cups of coffee, no breakfast diners, no drive-through windows, no pastries covered in sweet icing. Instead, breakfast in ancient Rome is usually simple, practical, and quick. For most ordinary people, the first meal of the day is only enough to prepare them for hours of hard work ahead. Luxury can wait until later, if it comes at all. You quietly join the small line outside the bakery, wondering what your first Roman breakfast will taste like. The baker greets each customer with practiced efficiency. Fresh bread is the foundation of everyday life in Rome. For many families, it is the most important food they will eat all day. The loaf in your hands is still warm from the oven. Its crust is crisp. The inside is soft and filling. There is no butter spread across the top, no fruit jam, no chocolate, no peanut butter. Instead, the bread is often enjoyed exactly as it is, appreciated for its simplicity and its ability to satisfy hunger. In a world where every coin matters, wasting food is almost unthinkable. Alongside the bread, you receive a small portion of olives and a piece of white cheese. These foods are common across much of the Roman world. Olive trees grow throughout the Mediterranean, providing both fruit and oil that become essential parts of everyday cooking. Cheese made from sheep's or goat's milk is widely available and travels well, making a practical choice for workers, travelers, and soldiers alike. The meal is modest, yet it offers enough energy to begin another busy day. As you take your first bite, you realize something surprising. Simple food can still feel deeply satisfying when it is made with care and eaten after a long morning. As you look around the bakery, one thing becomes impossible to ignore. No one is carrying a steaming cup of coffee. There are no teapots gently whistling over a fire. No sweet orange juice poured into glass cups. Coffee has not yet reached Europe. Tea is still unknown to the people around you. Even sugar, as we know it today, is an expensive rarity from distant lands. Instead, most Romans begin the day with fresh water, and many adults drink wine that has been mixed with water. To modern ears, drinking wine in the morning may sound unusual, but Roman wine was often diluted, making it quite different from the stronger wines many people know today. For countless citizens, it was simply another ordinary part of daily life. Not every breakfast looks exactly the same. The meal depends on who you are. A wealthy Roman family may enjoy fresh figs, grapes, honey, nuts, eggs, or carefully prepared leftovers from the evening before. Their tables are larger. Their homes are quieter. Servants may already be preparing the day's meals. But for ordinary workers, life is much simpler. Bread remains the center of breakfast. Perhaps a few olives, a small piece of cheese. Sometimes nothing more than yesterday's bread dipped in olive oil. The contrast between rich and poor is visible long before anyone leaves home. Yet both begin their day beneath the same rising sun. As you finish your breakfast, you begin to appreciate something unexpected. The food is simple, but it is fresh. The bread was baked only moments ago. The olives were harvested not far from the city. The cheese comes from nearby farms. Without refrigeration, people rely on local markets and seasonal harvests. Meals change throughout the year as different fruits and vegetables become available. Nature quietly decides what appears on the table. Every season brings its own familiar flavors. With breakfast finished, you thank the baker with a quiet nod and step back into the street. The warmth of the oven quickly fades behind you, replaced by the fresh morning air. Rome is no longer waking. It is fully awake. The streets that felt peaceful only an hour ago now hum with quiet purpose. Shopkeepers arrange their goods with practiced hands. Laborers carry tools across their shoulders. Merchants begin opening heavy wooden shutters, revealing colorful fabrics, pottery, and baskets filled with fresh produce. Everywhere you look, another ordinary day is unfolding. There is no rush, no frantic pace. Only thousands of people following routines they have repeated for years. As you continue walking, the city reveals itself one small detail at a time. Stone buildings rise several stories above the narrow streets. Bright laundry hangs from windows high overhead. A donkey patiently waits while its owner unloads heavy baskets. The smell of fresh bread slowly gives way to the earthy scent of vegetables, herbs, olive oil, and nearby workshops. Every corner offers something different. A tailor carefully stitches a wool tunic. A potter arranges freshly fired clay bowls. A carpenter smooths the surface of a wooden table. Each craft keeps the city alive. Each worker plays a small part in Rome's enormous daily rhythm. The longer you walk, the more familiar the city begins to feel. What seemed unusual only a short while ago now appears surprisingly ordinary. People greet one another by name. Children weave carefully through the crowds. Neighbors stop to exchange a few friendly words before continuing with their work. Life here is built upon community. Without modern technology, daily tasks depend far more upon human relationships. Everyone knows someone. Everyone depends on someone. The city functions not only because of its impressive roads and buildings, but because countless ordinary people quietly keep it moving every single day. Your simple breakfast is now behind you. Ahead lies the busiest part of the day. The streets grow more crowded with every passing minute. Carts begin arriving from the countryside. Merchants call out to passing customers. The sound of thousands of footsteps echoes across ancient stone. This is the Rome most people imagine. Busy, powerful, and endlessly fascinating. So take a slow breath and follow the crowd. Because it's time to discover what it truly feels like to walk through the streets of the greatest city in the Roman world. Leaving the bakery behind, you allow yourself to drift with the steady flow of the city. The streets are noticeably busier now than they were at sunrise. Every direction offers another glimpse into daily Roman life. Stone buildings stand shoulder to shoulder, their upper floors leaning slightly over the narrow streets below. Sunlight reaches the ground only in scattered patches, creating a shifting pattern of light and shadow beneath your feet. The road is uneven, polished smooth by generations of sandals, wagon wheels, and countless footsteps. For a moment, you slow your pace. There is no reason to hurry. In ancient Rome, walking is more than a way to travel. It is the heartbeat of the city itself. With every step, another story quietly unfolds before your eyes. As the street opens into a wider avenue, the sounds of the city become richer. Merchants greet familiar faces. Customers pause to examine woven baskets, bright fabrics, and carefully crafted pottery. A fruit seller arranges fresh figs, grapes, and apples into neat displays. Nearby, the scent of herbs mixes with warm bread and freshly pressed olive oil. Nothing feels rushed. Buying and selling here is as much about conversation as it is about trade. Neighbors exchange news. Travelers share stories from distant provinces. Every market stall becomes a small meeting place where the empire quietly comes together. Not everyone you pass is from Rome itself. The Roman Empire stretches across 3 continents, connecting hundreds of cities and countless cultures. As a result, the streets are filled with remarkable diversity. You notice different styles of clothing, different languages, different accents carried softly through the morning air. Some travelers have journeyed for weeks along Roman roads or crossed the Mediterranean Sea before arriving here. The city is not only the political center of an empire, it is also one of the world's great meeting places. Every face tells a story of a different homeland, and together, they create the extraordinary rhythm of ancient Rome. As you continue deeper into the city, the streets gradually become wider. Ahead, elegant stone buildings rise above the surrounding rooftops. Tall columns support impressive public structures, while broad staircases lead toward temples and government buildings. You have arrived near the Roman Forum. For centuries, this has been the beating heart of Roman public life. Here, politicians debate new laws, lawyers argue important cases, priests perform sacred ceremonies, merchants negotiate business from every corner of the empire. Ordinary citizens gather to exchange news, settle disagreements, or simply observe the constant movement of the city. It is not only a marketplace, it is the social and political center of one of history's greatest civilizations. Standing here, it becomes easy to understand why Rome earned the title of the Eternal City. Not far from the Forum, you notice a small crowd gathered around a street performer. There are no movie theaters, no radios, no televisions. Entertainment often happens in public squares, where musicians, storytellers, and performers capture the attention of anyone willing to pause for a few moments. A musician gently plucks the strings of a lyre. Nearby, another performer recites a familiar tale from Roman mythology. Children sit quietly at the front, while adults smile and listen. For a short while, work gives way to simple enjoyment. Even in one of the busiest cities on earth, people still make time for stories. As the morning grows warmer, you begin to appreciate another remarkable feature of the city. Public fountains appear throughout many neighborhoods, providing fresh water to residents and travelers alike. Some people stop to fill clay jars. Others simply pause for a cool drink before continuing their journey. The gentle sound of flowing water softens the noise of the surrounding streets. For a few peaceful moments, the fountain becomes a place to rest, a place to talk, a place to watch the city pass by. Even in a city as large as Rome, quiet moments can still be found by simply standing beside moving water. As you leave the quiet comfort of the fountain behind, the streets become noticeably busier. Wooden carts roll slowly over the worn stone roads, their wheels echoing between the tall buildings. A farmer guides a pair of mules carrying sacks of grain toward the city market. Nearby, a merchant carefully steers a small handcart loaded with clay amphorae filled with olive oil and wine. Everyone seems to know exactly where they're going. Despite the growing crowd, there is an unspoken rhythm to the movement. People step aside for heavy carts. Animals are guided patiently through narrow streets. Neighbors greet one another before continuing on their way. It may seem chaotic at first glance, but beneath the movement lies a quiet order that has developed over generations. As the sun climbs higher into the sky, the warmth of the Mediterranean morning begins to spread across the city. Shadows grow shorter. Stone walls slowly absorb the heat. Shopkeepers stretch simple fabric awnings above their stalls, creating small islands of shade for waiting customers. Travelers pause beneath porticos to rest for a few moments before continuing their journey. Even in one of the world's largest cities, people understand the value of slowing down when the day begins to grow warm. Life in ancient Rome follows the rhythm of nature. The rising sun quietly shapes every part of the day. By now, the city no longer feels quite so unfamiliar. You recognize the smell of fresh bread, the steady sound of sandals against stone, the quiet greetings exchanged between neighbors, the gentle splash of water flowing through public fountains. Only a few hours ago, everything seemed strange. Now, you begin to understand a quiet rhythm that holds this enormous city together. Ancient Rome is not only remembered for its emperors, armies, or magnificent buildings. It is remembered because millions of ordinary people lived ordinary lives here, one peaceful morning at a time. Morning is slowly giving way to the busiest hours of the day. The markets are open. The workshops are filled with activity. Across the city, thousands of ordinary Romans are already hard at work. Some shape stone into beautiful buildings. Some bake bread that will feed entire neighborhoods. Others write contracts, repair sandals, weave cloth, or carry heavy loads beneath the growing sun. If you hope to survive your first week in ancient Rome, your day of work is about to begin. So take one last look around these remarkable streets, and let's discover what it meant to earn a living in the greatest city of the Roman Empire. The streets have now settled into their daily rhythm. The peaceful morning has given way to steady work. Across Rome, thousands of ordinary people begin the labor that keeps one of history's greatest cities alive. There are no office buildings waiting for you, no computers, no air-conditioned workplaces, no elevators carrying workers to the 20th floor. Instead, nearly every task depends on human hands. Stone is lifted, wood is cut, metal is hammered, grain is ground, water is carried. From sunrise until evening, the city moves because millions of small jobs are completed one after another. If you hope to survive here, you must work just like everyone else. Your first task is surprisingly simple. A merchant asks you to help unload a wooden cart filled with heavy sacks of grain. Each sack weighs far more than you expected. There are no forklifts, no conveyor belts, no hydraulic lifts. Everything must be carried by hand. The work is slow but constant. Step after step, sack after sack, the grain disappears into a nearby warehouse. Within minutes, your shoulders begin to ache. The warm Mediterranean sun climbs higher overhead, and the day has only just begun. As the work continues, you notice how skilled everyone around you has become. The carpenter measures each piece of timber with remarkable precision. The blacksmith shapes glowing iron with steady, confident strikes. A mason carefully smooths a block of marble that may one day become part of a public building. Years of practice have turned ordinary workers into true masters of their craft. Very few people receive formal schooling. Instead, knowledge passes from parent to child, from master to apprentice. Every skill is learned through observation, repetition, and patience. In ancient Rome, experience is one of the greatest teachers a person can have. The hours pass more slowly than you expected. By late morning, the sun hangs high above the city, warming the stone streets until they begin to radiate heat. Sweat gathers across your forehead. Your hands have grown rough from lifting, carrying, and pulling. Yet around you, no one seems surprised. The experienced workers continue at a steady pace, conserving their energy instead of rushing. They have learned that strength alone is not enough. Endurance is what carries them through the day. In ancient Rome, work is not a short burst of effort. It is a quiet test of patience that lasts from sunrise until evening. Around midday, the pace finally begins to slow. Several workers gather beneath the shade of a nearby portico. Others sit against cool stone walls, grateful for even a few quiet moments of rest. Lunch is simple: a piece of bread, a handful of olives, perhaps a little cheese or dried fruit if fortune has been kind. There are no elaborate meals waiting at the workplace, no vending machines, no packed lunches wrapped in paper. The meal is brief, practical, and carefully portioned. There is still half a day's work waiting ahead. As you eat, you notice a young apprentice watching an older craftsman at work. Every movement is carefully observed, every technique quietly memorized. There are no classrooms here, no instruction manuals. Knowledge passes from one generation to the next through daily practice. Mistakes become lessons. Patience becomes skill. Years later, today's apprentice may become tomorrow's master, teaching another young worker in exactly the same way. It is a tradition that has helped build roads, aqueducts, temples, and homes across the Roman world. The afternoon stretches on. The sun slowly begins its journey toward the western horizon, but the work is far from over. The sounds of chisels striking stone and hammers shaping iron continue without interruption. Your arms feel heavier than they did this morning. Dust clings to your sandals. Your back aches from hours of lifting and carrying. Yet around you, experienced workers continue with quiet determination. No one complains. No one rushes. Each person simply focuses on the next task, knowing that every finished job helps support a family, a workshop, or an entire neighborhood. For ordinary Romans, perseverance is not considered remarkable. It is simply expected. At last, the pace begins to slow. One by one, Tools are carefully returned to their places. Wood shavings are swept from workshop floors. The final wagon leaves the marketplace. Merchants lower wooden shutters across the fronts of their shops. The city does not suddenly become quiet. Instead, its rhythm gently changes. The busy sounds of work slowly give way to the quieter sounds of evening. Children begin walking home with their parents. Neighbors stop to exchange a few final words before returning indoors. Another ordinary day is coming to a close. As you walk away from the workshop, your muscles remind you of every task you completed today. Your hands are dusty, your shoulders feel tired, and your feet have carried you across miles of ancient stone. For someone used to modern comforts, even a single day like this would feel demanding. Yet for millions of Romans, this was simply everyday life. Tomorrow, they would wake before sunrise and do it all again. Their routines help build roads that still exist today. Their labor raised temples, bridges, and aqueducts that have survived for centuries. History is often remembered through emperors and generals, but cities are truly built by ordinary people. But the day is not quite over. Before returning home, many Romans make one final stop, not at a restaurant, not at a theater, but at one of the city's most remarkable public spaces, a place where people gather to wash away the dust of the day, to exercise, to meet friends, to discuss business, or simply to relax for a little while before nightfall. Ahead of you, steam rises gently above an impressive stone building. The public baths await, and they are unlike anything you may have imagined. As the sun begins a slow descent toward the horizon, the city's rhythm changes once again. The workshops grow quieter, the marketplaces slowly empty, and across Rome, people begin making their way toward one of the most remarkable places in the ancient world, the public baths. To someone from the modern world, the name might suggest nothing more than a place to wash. But in ancient Rome, these bathhouses are something much greater. They are places to relax after a long day's work, to meet friends, to exchange news, to discuss business, to exercise, and, of course, to bathe. For many Romans, visiting the baths is not an occasional luxury. It is simply part of everyday life. Crossing the entrance, you immediately notice the cool air inside the enormous building. Marble floors stretch beneath your feet. Sunlight pours through high windows, illuminating elegant columns and polished stone walls. The bathhouse feels surprisingly peaceful. Voices echo softly beneath the vaulted ceilings. Water trickles continuously through fountains. People move unhurriedly from one room to another. The architecture itself encourages calm. Every space has been carefully designed to create comfort, balance, and order after the demands of the working day. The baths offer something every Roman understands the value of, a chance to slow down. Your visit begins in a room known as a podatorium. This is a changing room, where visitors leave behind their sandals, tunics, and belongings before entering the baths. Wooden benches line the walls. Stone niches provide space for clothing and personal items. Some wealthier Romans are accompanied by servants who watch over their possessions. Others simply trust the attendants working within the bathhouse. Even here, conversation flows as naturally as the water itself. Friends greet one another. Neighbors discuss the day's events. The atmosphere is relaxed. No one seems eager to hurry. For a little while, the worries of work remain outside these walls. From a changing room, you follow the gentle flow of visitors into the tepidarium. The air here is pleasantly warm. Not hot, not cold, just enough to help your body relax after the long hours of work. The marble beneath your feet feels comfortably heated. Soft light enters through high windows, reflecting from polished stone walls. Many Romans spend time here before entering the hotter rooms ahead. The gradual warmth allows tired muscles to loosen naturally. Conversations continue in quiet voices. There is no sense of urgency. The bathhouse follows its own peaceful rhythm, inviting everyone to slow down and leave the outside world behind. When you feel fully relaxed, you continue into the caldarium. The warmth immediately becomes more noticeable. Steam rises gently through the room, softening the marble columns and filling the air with a comforting haze. Sunlight filters through the steam, creating glowing beams of golden light. This is one of the warmest rooms in the bathhouse. Its heat comes from an ingenious Roman heating system known as the hypocaust. Beneath the stone floor, hot air circulates through carefully built chambers, warming the room from below. Without electricity or modern boilers, Roman engineers created an experience that still inspires architects and historians today. After spending time in the warmth, many visitors choose one final experience, the frigidarium. Compared with the heated rooms, the cool water feels wonderfully refreshing. Some step in slowly. Others immerse themselves with quiet confidence. The contrast awakens tired muscles and leaves the body feeling renewed after a demanding day. For many Romans, this sequence of warm and cool bathing becomes a familiar evening ritual, not simply for cleanliness, but for comfort, relaxation, and a sense of balance that prepares them for another day tomorrow. As you leave the cool waters behind, another familiar ritual begins. An attendant offers a small amount of fragrant olive oil. Rather than using soap as we know it today, many Romans cover their skin with oil before gently removing the mixture of oil, dust, and sweat with a curved bronze tool called a strigil. The process is surprisingly gentle, careful, almost meditative. For many visitors, it marks the quiet end of the long working day. The bathhouse is not only a place to become clean, it is a place where people leave behind the weight of the day itself. Each slow movement feels like part of an evening routine repeated thousands of times before. Nearby, groups of friends remain deep in conversation. Some discuss the day's business. Others exchange local news or debate recent events. A retired soldier quietly shares stories from distant frontiers. A merchant speaks about ships arriving from Alexandria. A father listens as his young son excitedly describes something he learned during the day. The baths are more than a place for relaxation. They are part of the city's social fabric. Long before social media or newspapers, ideas often spread through conversations just like these. The warm rooms echo not only with voices, but with the everyday life of an empire. Eventually, the evening begins to draw to a close. One by one, visitors gather their belongings and make their way toward the entrance. Outside, the sunlight has softened into the warm colors of dusk. The marble buildings glow beneath the fading sky. Oil lamps begin appearing in windows across the city. The busy sounds of the afternoon have almost disappeared. Rome feels calmer now. The city seems to exhale after another long day. As you step outside, the cool evening air feels wonderfully refreshing. Night is gently settling over the eternal city. The streets grow quieter with every passing moment. Shops are closed. The workshop stands silent. Only the soft glow of oil lamps now guides people through the narrow streets. You have survived your first full day in ancient Rome. But the city is far from asleep. Beyond the quiet windows and flickering lights, another side of Roman life is only beginning to awaken. So walk a little farther and let us discover what the eternal city becomes after dark. The last rays of sunlight slowly disappear beyond the western hills. A soft blue twilight settles across the city. The brilliant white marble that shone beneath the afternoon sun now glows with gentle shades of silver and gold. One by one, oil lamps begin to appear behind open windows. Their warm light flickers softly against stone walls that have witnessed centuries of ordinary life. The streets are quieter now. The merchants have gone home. The workshops stand empty. Only a handful of late travelers continue their journey through the cooling evening air. Rome has not fallen asleep. It has simply begun a different chapter of the day. As you continue walking, the scent of evening meals drifts through the narrow streets. Inside modest apartments, families gather around simple wooden tables. Fresh bread rests beside bowls of lentils. Olives, cheese, vegetables, and a little wine complete many ordinary suppers. For wealthier households, the meal may include fish, roasted meat, or sweet fruits imported from distant provinces. Yet regardless of wealth, this is often the only moment in the day when families can truly sit together. The day's work is finished. Conversations replace labor. The city slows its pace, one household at a time. Stepping back outside, you notice how different the city feels after sunset. Without electric lights, darkness arrives quickly. Only scattered oil lamps illuminate the streets. Their gentle glow creates islands of light surrounded by deep shadow. Walking requires greater care now. The uneven stone pavement is harder to see. Doorways disappear into darkness. The sound of your own footsteps seem louder than before. For modern visitors accustomed to brightly lit cities, the Roman night feels surprisingly quiet and surprisingly dark. As your eyes gradually adjust to the darkness, you notice that not everyone has gone home. In the distance, a small group of men carrying oil lamps quietly patrol the streets. These are the vigiles, part firefighter, part night watch, part guardian of the city. Their responsibility is simple but essential. They watch for fires. They help keep order during the night. And they respond whenever danger threatens the neighborhoods sleeping around them. In a city built largely from timber and crowded apartment buildings, even a single unattended flame could become a disaster. Their quiet footsteps offer reassurance to those already asleep behind closed doors. Away from the main streets, the neighborhoods become wonderfully still. A few windows remain softly illuminated. Some families are only now finishing their evening meal. Others quietly prepare for tomorrow before extinguishing their lamps. Laundry hanging between the apartment buildings moves gently in the cool night breeze. Cats wander silently through narrow alleyways in search of scraps. The busy city you explored only hours ago now feels almost peaceful enough to forget that nearly 1 million people live here. For a few precious hours each night, even Rome seems to pause. Eventually, you make your way to the apartment where you will spend the night. Like most ordinary Romans, you do not live in a spacious villa. Instead, your home is part of a tall apartment building known as an insula. The stairway is narrow. The wooden steps creak beneath your feet. Your room is small but practical. A simple wooden bed stands against one wall. A small chest holds your few belongings. An oil lamp provides the room's only light. Compared with modern homes, the space feels surprisingly modest. But after a full day of walking and working, it feels more than enough. You gently place the small oil lamp beside your bed. Its flame dances quietly against the plaster walls, casting soft shadows that move with every faint breath of air. Outside, the city has become wonderfully calm. The voices that filled the streets this morning have faded into silence. Only the occasional footsteps of a late traveler drift through the narrow alley below. For the first time since arriving in ancient Rome, there is nothing left to do. No work, no walking, no decisions waiting to be made. Only the quiet comfort of rest after a long and unfamiliar day. As you lie down, your body begins to notice every mile you walk today. Your shoulders still remember the weight of heavy grain sacks. Your hands remember rough stone and wooden tools. Your feet remember the uneven streets of the eternal city. Yet alongside the tiredness comes something unexpected, a quiet sense of satisfaction. You have shared a day that millions of ordinary Romans once experienced. Not as an emperor, not as a famous general, but as one of the countless people whose daily work allowed the city to thrive. History is often remembered through extraordinary lives, but it is sustained by ordinary ones. Outside your small window, Rome continues breathing quietly through the night. Somewhere in the distance, a fountain still flows. A watchman quietly completes another round through the sleeping streets. Far beyond the city walls, fields and vineyards rest beneath the stars. Tomorrow, before sunrise, the city will awaken once again. The ovens will be lit. The markets will open. The workshops will echo with familiar sounds. Another ordinary day will begin, just as it has for generations. The rhythm of Rome never truly stops. It simply pauses long enough for its people to rest. As sleep quietly begins to settle over the eternal city, one thought gently lingers in your mind. You have experienced only a single ordinary day, and already it has demanded more walking, more patience, and more physical effort than many modern lives require in an entire week. So imagine facing this routine again tomorrow, and the day after that. Could you truly survive 7 full days in ancient Rome? As dawn slowly approaches, we are about to find out. Morning is still some time away. The city rests quietly beneath the stars. As you reflect on everything you experienced today, one question continues to linger. Could you truly survive an entire week in ancient Rome? At first, the answer might seem obvious. After all, People lived here for centuries. Families were raised. Businesses flourished. Great monuments were built. Yet surviving here required something that many of us rarely need to think about today: constant adaptation. Every ordinary task demanded more effort than we often realize. Think about your morning alone. There was no alarm clock gently waking you, no electric lights brightening your room, no hot shower, no coffee waiting in the kitchen. Breakfast was simple. Water had to be carried. Walking was unavoidable, and every journey required patience. Long before the working day even began, your body had already done more than many modern routines demand before lunchtime. Then came the work, hours of lifting, walking, building, carrying, repairing, crafting, without machines, without power tools, without the countless conveniences we now take for granted. The Romans were not stronger because they were extraordinary. They became strong because everyday life demanded it. Their world rewarded endurance, not speed, not comfort, simply perseverance. Of course, surviving ancient Rome was not impossible. Millions of people built meaningful lives here. They laughed with friends, raised families, celebrated festivals, worked with pride, and found moments of peace at the end of each long day. The challenge was not that Rome was unlivable. The challenge was that it demanded far more from the human body and mind than many of us are accustomed to today. Comfort was earned. Convenience was rare. Resilience was simply part of everyday life. Perhaps the greatest surprise is not how different the Romans were from us, but how similar they could be. They worried about providing for their families. They looked forward to sharing meals with friends. They celebrated victories. They mourned losses. They hoped tomorrow would be a little better than today. Across nearly 2,000 years, those quiet human experiences remain remarkably familiar. History often feels distant, yet the people who lived it were, in many ways, not so different from ourselves. If there is one lesson ancient Rome quietly offers us, it is that extraordinary civilizations are built through ordinary routines. Bread baked before sunrise, stone lifted one piece at a time, roads laid carefully across countless miles, knowledge passed patiently from one generation to the next. Great achievements rarely appear all at once. They grow from thousands of small efforts repeated every single day. The Romans understood this well, and perhaps there is still something valuable we can learn from them. So, would you survive 1 week in ancient Rome? Perhaps with enough patience, enough determination, and enough time to adapt. You might, but by the end of those 7 days, you would almost certainly return home with a deeper appreciation for the quiet comforts of modern life. A soft bed, clean running water, electric light, a warm shower, simple conveniences that often pass unnoticed. Sometimes the greatest gift history offers is not nostalgia, but perspective. Thank you for spending this peaceful journey through ancient Rome with me. I hope these quiet streets, simple routines, and remarkable stories have helped you slow down for a little while. History is filled with countless forgotten lives waiting to be rediscovered, and together, we will continue exploring them, one peaceful night at a time. Thank you for spending this peaceful journey through ancient Rome with me. I hope these quiet streets, simple routines, and remarkable stories have helped you slow down for a little while. History is filled with countless forgotten lives waiting to be rediscovered, and together, we will continue exploring them, one peaceful night at a time.